Hey everyone, it's Dylan with Nightmare Audio Reviews, bringing a new review of the, not necessarily new, but newer for me, Meze Audio 105 AER. Just imagine that was actually flipped so that it was readable, legible. Alright, so because I'm using a new software right now, and I'm not sure why my webcam is flickering in and out, that is awesome. But I'm using a new software called CleanShot X on my Mac, so I am actually able to flip through websites now, and I can still be seen. So if this format works, because I have zero video editing abilities, I'm just gonna go stick with it, and hopefully we can just do some one-shot, one-take magic. It's also late at night, and my wife is going to bed, so I am testing out a new microphone, the Yeti Blue. So we'll see if that works too. Anywho, so this is pulled directly from the Meze Audio website. If I can scroll all the way up, so. Ooh, a lush sonic oasis. Bring the outside in. I actually just in terms of the design of this headphone, I love the grill. If you have tryptophobia, which is fear of circles, maybe not the best choice. But if you don't, look at that. You can actually wear this. So 50 millimeter driver, dynamic driver, W-shaped dome, carbon reinforced fiber cellulose composite. Blah blah blah. Don't you wish you looked as comfy and happy as this dude in presumably nicer chair than the chair I'm in right now. Lush sound, all day listening. Love the fact that Meze has like full repairability for all their headphones. I always think that the I guess the breakdown or the blowout, I'm not actually sure what the proper term is always cool. But in terms of specifications, because it's in my face this time and you can see it too, dynamic driver 50 millimeters, full frequency range 5 hertz to 30,000 kilohertz, 42 ohms, sensitivity 112 decibel per milliwatt, uses 3.5 millimeter jacks, weighs 336 grams. I think that's kind of really it. And I thought there was something here about thought there was something there from the actual designer saying something about the kind of thought process and design. Okay, so this retails for $339 USD, but currently for the spring sale, and currently meaning like April 2026 to May 2026. I'm not sure when it's actually going to end. It's 25% off, so it was actually $299, which I think, I'll kind of get into it a little bit more detail. I think it's an absolute steal for this headphone. I think for anyone who either is trying to get into high-end audio and they're kind of like, ooh, I'm not too sure, and they're interested in open backs, or just someone who wants a comfortable, lightweight headphone that is really easy to listen to, this is a pretty good choice. And I will definitely say listening to at least the Meze 105 AR, 105 Silva, and 109 Pro, I think out of the three, this is my true choice for what is best for metal. So, went into price, went into specifications, let's talk build, and kind of what's in the box. So, this is the headphone. As you can see, there's your circles, tryptophobia, people beware. It's pretty much the same design as majority of the Mezes, kind of two steel bands, self-adjusting. Oh, this is a better way to demonstrate it. Self-adjusting headband. Actually, I should click back in here. Sorry. Plastic build, metal frame, metal piece here, metal connector. Again, this is a pleather self-adjusting headband. The ear pads are a very soft plush velour. And the inner driver you will not be able to see, but it kind of has a star. It looks more like a pentagram if you were to ask me. It has a star-shaped design. You can see the driver through this mesh fabric. Really lightweight, really comfortable. Kind of par for the course in most Meze headphones. Really comfortable overall. Let me put this aside and not have it plop off my desk because I have limited desk room right now. Comes in a standard hard case. I always think that's wonderful. It's a full package. In the package itself, you get a little cable pouch. I think these are cool. I mean, anything that's a kind of extra feature is cool, but I'm not going to pull it out. You get a little 3.5 millimeter Kevlar coated cable with a 3.5 to 6.3 millimeter adapter, or 1/4 inch adapter. That's kind of it. Honestly, I didn't use this cable. I was initially using it a little bit with the Meze Boom Mic, which is a really good product, but then on my own amplifier, because I prefer balanced connectors, I purchased one of the aftermarket Meze 3.5 to 4.4 millimeter balanced cables, and I actually just had this come in today. Will this show up? It is, I think it's actually the newest iteration of Meze Audio's premium copper cable, because it actually says that this is made in mind for the 99 Classics 2nd Gen, which just came out. But this is a 3.5 millimeter to 4.4 balanced premium copper cable. Do I believe that the cable is going to make a sonic difference? No. Do I believe that the cable is really nice and comfortable and I love the feel and design? Yes, I do. But that is another rabbit hole of a topic for another time. So that was basically build, and those were the components that come with it. Again, I think it's nice to get a full product. You don't have to go worry about buying aftermarket cases for, I'm pretty sure, all Meze headphones, which is wonderful. And they're really like just, if something breaks, you can message Meze and fix it, and you can buy all their headbands and pads and anything else you can imagine on their website. Alright, so that's kind of that there. For comfort, really comfortable. If you just plop it on my head, it's on, no issues. So I could wear this all day. This is comfortable, no hot spots, really light. You could use it around the house. You can use it outside if you were to dare. You can walk in a forest like the guy on the Meze websites, which is pretty metal in the scheme of things, hopefully listing some black metal, or something atmospheric. But I'd probably say this is truly just meant for home audio listening. I imagine these are going to be good for gaming, movies, because they have really kind of like a user-friendly, I'd say for the most average person, you put this headphone on, they would appreciate it. It has generally a pretty warm sound, which I guess let's dive into sound characteristics. So I'm not going to belabor the point, although before I forget, let me bring this up. So this is a frequency response. For people who are not aware, it basically shows you kind of like the genetics. This is me being in a medical profession, the genetics of, or I guess I should say the phenotype, which is kind of the outward response of the headphone, and how it would sound. I brought this up just because I reviewed the Meze Strada, and you can kind of see that in comparison where the Meze 105 AER stands, and I do have the Sennheiser HD660S2, which is actually one of my favorite headphones for metal. Definitely my favorite Sennheiser for metal, just as like a comparison for anyone who is aware of the 660S2. Alright, so what you can see essentially is the AER has a little bit of like a bass elevation, pretty to me flat, forward, mid-range, and then the treble you have a little bit of like peakiness. There is like a, to my ear, I hear some type of glare in some of the songs I was listening to. So that's kind of around 5 to 6K, and then it kind of rolls off quite a bit. This is in contrast to the Strada, which I kind of said was a U-shape, so elevated bass. You do have a little bit of kind of a withdrawn lower mid-range, and then the mids are decently flat after that with some kind of like peaks in the treble and kind of like some treble response, which kind of gives you that like air or detail if needed. And then the Sennheiser 660S2, although it's interesting to me because I thought that was a pretty bassy headphone, it's showing it as being like significantly less bassy than the 105 AER, and then relatively neutral in the mid-range, which is kind of Sennheiser, and then the treble is like not too bad. If I click, and this one was Squiglink, this was specifically reviewed, I believe, by Gadgetry Tech, if I can talk. And this is one from Super Review, which kind of shows the same thing. Like, bass is elevated, kind of flat mid-range, a little bit of treble, and then there's like a peak between like 5 to 6K, and it rolls off, which, sure, those seem to be pretty in tandem with one another. Okay. All right. So to my ear, clicking back into my photo, to my ear, I kind of agree with that. The Meze 105 AER, I was listening to the lineup at Bloom Audio 2.5 months ago. I had heard the 109 Pro before, and I thought that it was pretty dang good headphone, but a little bit bright to my ears. Never heard the 105 AER, never heard the 105 Silva. I thought that this has a really good bass response for an open back. It is warm. I would consider this, again, kind of like a warm neutral headphone. It's warm. The bass is elevated. You do get good thump and kick. It does add a little bit of that meatiness and heft to songs that I personally like, and that's kind of my go-to sound. But it wasn't really overblown. Not anywhere like the Final Audio DX3000 CL. For the mid-range, it's forward. Guitars, male vocals, they feel like they're in the front. They don't feel like they're being withdrawn, or they feel like they're kind of thin and tinny, and guitars don't have kind of like that that bite, for lack of a better descriptor. They're forward. They just kind of sound in place where they should be, which is also my preference. I want my guitars forward. I don't want my vocals forward. I don't want it to sound like someone's like, or the vocalist is behind all the instruments, which this does it justice quite well. Treble to me, for the most part, is not terribly bright. There was no piercing or sibilance to my ears. There is a little bit of glare. I want to say I noticed this when I was listening to like Children of Bodom and some of the keyboards and like guitar solos. It was kind of a little bit of like, okay, kind of, it's a little bit, I don't want to say bright because it's not technically bright, but like glaring, meaning like it sounds like it could hurt, but it actually doesn't cause any hurt or piercing sound character. I don't think it's as bright to my ears as the Meze Strada, and it is sure not as near as bright as the Meze 109 Pro. The Pros, I can crank these up. I can crank the 105 AERs up, even though you shouldn't. Don't do that. Tinnitus is a really bad thing. But the 109 Pros, those actually hurt, and those I would listen to more comfortably at a lower volume than these. So overall, like, who would these be for? As I kind of alluded to initially, I think this is, at the current price of $299, I think this is a really dang good deal. I think it's a steal. You get a full package. You get a headphone you can just really enjoy and not worry about. I think it's going to be easy for most people to listen to. I think this is actually an excellent, if someone's really wanting to dip the toes in high-end audio, and they're metalheads and they are interested in something. Plus, this looks metal. I mean, like, it's all black. It looks kind of like it came from the depths of hell to a certain degree. Comfortable, does not it's not finicky. You can power this off a Mac, which I was listening to, and it sounds okay, although my preference is to plug it into my Questyle CMA 12 balanced, and I'm barely at like probably 7 to 8 o'clock before it gets like comfortably loud, and 9 would be pushing it for like a longer period of time. Or if someone's not just like into trying to get into audio and they're really into it, I think this is actually just a good set it and forget it headphone. It's good for music and movies, I imagine, because of that elevated bass. It's comfortable. You can use it for gaming if you use the Meze boom mic, which I should try. Did not do it beforehand. for my full disclosure there. But yeah, overall, I think it's really good. You know, between the Sennheiser HD660S2 and this, that's kind of tough. I feel like it depends on your preference. These are more comfortable to me, I think, than the Sennheiser. Sennheiser's going to be a little bit clampy, and I think between the build of the both, I'm going to give a nod to Meze, although both are excellent choices, because both are fully repairable. But I think these are more comfortable, and the Sennheiser is also a little bit more expensive. I think the 660S2 honestly should be priced more competitively nowadays. That to me is not a $500, $600 headphone. That should be like $300, $350 if anything. But then Sennheiser would have to go bump down their $600 and $650. Anywho, so those are my overall thoughts. I'll give a shout out to Audio 46 because I've been buying tons of things off their website lately. I'm just in like an audio bug right now, and I think I just want to get things to review that I haven't had for a while. But yeah, that's it. Let me know your thoughts. Again, this is kind of brief. I feel like this headphone's been out for a while, and there's probably a lot on it, but I kind of just wanted to like give my 2 cents on the matter. I don't really have any direct comparisons right now because I, off the top of my head, can't really think of anything that it competes with. Maybe actually, as a quick aside, something I could compare it to would be the Sony MDR MV1, and this is just kind of like offhand. The Sony MDR MV1 is also a very fun headphone. That is also a great choice for metal. I think that is now kind of going for $300 to $350. It's kind of been fluctuating. I think it also had like a little bit of price increase on Amazon. Sometimes it's had like discounts randomly. That is an excellent headphone. That, I think, from memory, is also lighter than this, although that has a hybrid plastic metal build. That has an excellent bass response. I'd probably say it actually has more bass than this to a certain degree, but also has much more treble, and it's actually a lot brighter to my ears than this. So if you're kind of more into detail and you like Sony as a brand, maybe that would be your choice. But I think in the meantime, with Meze's current sale on this would be just kind of like buy it in a heartbeat. It's such a good deal right now. Anywho, yeah, that was it. Let me know anyone's thoughts, comments, feedback. Was this review helpful? Was the format helpful? Do I have to learn how to do video editing? Does my audio not sound good? Which is ironic because I like good audio, but I figured I would get a mic versus talking at the kind of crappy audio webcam. Am I talking too softly? Should I be wearing a metal shirt and metal band shirt and not just have the random fish behind me? All those things are worth hearing people's opinions on. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. Take care. Have a good night.